Anyone can have a bad night's sleep, but when it's persistent and beyond your control, it's called insomnia. Sleep's a panacea, a cure-all. Insomnia, just the opposite. It could damage your health and sometimes shorten your life. Insomnia is the inability to fall asleep or stay asleep for as long as you need. Poor quality sleep or not having enough of it affects exercise, your work performance, your sexual function, but can also over time permanently affect your health. Not enough sleep can contribute to weight gain, poor ability to exercise, and a heightened risk of diabetes. Lack of sleep affects your brain. It leads to poor mental performance and depression. In fact, people with insomnia are 5 times as likely to develop depression. Poor sleep also affects your heart. It puts you at risk for high blood pressure, heart disease, heart attack, and stroke. Being sleepy causes accidents. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration estimates that fatigue is a cause in 100,000 auto crashes a year in the United States. Sleep loss dumbs you down. Lack of sleep impairs your attention, your alertness, your concentration, your reasoning, and your problem solving. This affects thinking and learning, but also affects your judgment. Additionally, it impacts your memory because you may not remember the things you learned the day before. This is because the sharp wave ripples that store your memories are not happening. These ripples occur during deep sleep in the memory part of your brain called your hippocampus. The memory part of your brain is where you consolidate memory, so you cannot remember what you learned yesterday because of a lack of memory consolidation. So no sleep, no ripples. No ripples, no learning. Because you cannot convert a short-term memory into a long-term memory. Lack of sleep can make you gain weight. Lack of sleep is related to an increase in hunger and appetite. It affects hormones that affect your hunger and being satiated. Lack of sleep can kill your sex drive for many reasons. Lack of sleep ages your skin. Most people have experienced puffy eyes after a few nights of missed sleep, but it turns out that chronic sleep loss can lead to lackluster skin, fine lines, which are the start of wrinkles, and dark circles under the eyes. When you don't get enough sleep, your body releases more of the stress hormone cortisol. Excess cortisol in the bloodstream can break down the collagen in your skin. Collagen makes up 70% of your skin, and it is the protein that keeps your skin smooth, elastic, and wrinkle-free. When you don't get enough sleep, your body releases less human growth hormone. That's also a problem, because during aging, human growth hormone helps increase your muscle mass, thickens your skin, and strengthens your bone. So welcome to our Sleep You Can't Get Enough of It Sometimes episode. Hi, my name is Jerry Hickey. I'm a licensed pharmacist who also has studied nutrition. I'm over here at Invite Health. I'm also the Scientific Director, and I'd like to talk to you today about improving your duration and quality of sleep. Be sure to subscribe to the Invite Health podcast, and please leave us a review. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Invite Health. All of the information on today's episode will be linked in the episode description, and you can visit invitehealth.com/podcast for more information. So what about drugs for sleep? They're dangerous. You have heard about the opiate crisis and the number of people who overdose or become addicted to opiates. Well, issues with sleep medication are right behind that in incidence. Overdoses from an addiction to sleep medication is right behind the opiate crisis in number. You just aren't hearing about it because opiate issues are dominating the airwaves. So let's go to a break, and when I come back, I will discuss some more natural ways of improving sleep duration and its quality.
This podcast is brought to you by InviteHealth.com. For over 20 years, Invite Health has provided premium quality supplements and expert advice you can trust. Now, first-time customers can enjoy an exclusive offer. Visit invitehealth.com/podcast or click the link in this episode description. That's invitehealth.com/podcast for your exclusive offer on Invite Health products. Invite Health offers the resources you need to make important decisions about your health. Chat live with degreed healthcare professionals, get product information, and find retail locations near you at invitehealth.com. You can also learn about our new genetic testing program and our exclusive Invite Fitness Wellness program. Follow Invite Health on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and be sure to subscribe to our podcast today. Now back to our episode.
Okay, welcome back. Jerry Hickey for Invite Health. So what are some better ways to improve sleep? Well, there's a sleep and exercise connection. Insomnia improves with regular exercise, so adding exercise can improve the quality and length of your sleep. I have to tell you, I sleep like a baby on the days when I go to the gym. So make exercise for better sleep a top priority. But remember this, There's a post-workout surge of energy, so try to complete intense exercise at least a few hours before bedtime. Power down your electronic devices. The soft blue glow from a cell phone, a tablet, a digital clock in your bedroom, even that little thing that's for your cable vision. That can keep you awake. That can affect sleep. So a tip, turn off the TV, the computers, even the cable box, and the other blue light sources for a time before you go to bed. Cover any displays you can't shut off. Set your body clock. Go to sleep and wake up at roughly the same time every day, even on weekends. I have to tell you, my Apple phone actually has a way of doing that. This routine will get your brain and body used to being on a healthy sleep-wake schedule. You're actually resetting your circadian rhythm, which is your body clock. In time, you'll be able to nod off faster and rest more soundly through the night and wake up like you set an alarm clock, actually. So think about it. When you stay up really late on Friday and Saturday night, and you have to get up Monday morning to go to work, that's really the same as having jet lag. Now look for hidden caffeine and stimulants. Besides coffee, tea, and chocolate, the obvious sources for caffeine and stimulants, some sodas, especially all the colas, some ice creams, and some medications for coughs, colds, and fevers, or for weight loss, or for pain relief contain stimulants. You don't want to take that in the evening. Be careful with alcohol. It can at first put you to sleep, but later in the night it's connected to poor sleep quality and waking up multiple times. Now, also, if you're stressed out or if your brain is just overly active, maybe you read something interesting, maybe you stayed up a little later than you should, you have to shut down your brain. A way to do that is L-theanine. That's really an interesting supplement. L-theanine comes from the tea plant. There's always a little bit in tea, but not really enough to help you sleep. Before sleep, I recommend about 200 milligrams. In the daytime, if you take 100 milligrams of L-theanine, it's excellent for stress and staying focused. It helps you be a little creative. It's actually quite fantastic. It relieves the effects of stress hormones, which make you jittery and unfocused. At night, if you're releasing stress hormones, it keeps you awake. So the theanine gets rid of that stress hormone effect, that cortisol effect. And it's not habit forming. It's very gentle. You'll be able to wake up in the morning with no hangover. There's many studies showing L-theanine is very good for stress, and if you increase the dosage, it's very helpful for sleep. Melatonin also works, and there's no doubt about that. There was a recent review from MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, their clinical research center. It was by a very famous Professor Richard Wertman, very famous researcher. He analyzed 17 human clinical trials on melatonin and sleep. These are in peer-reviewed medical journals. And his team at MIT concluded that melatonin can improve your quality of sleep. It decreases sleep onset latency. In other words, you fall asleep faster. You sleep deeper, and you sleep longer. There's many, many studies proving this. Melatonin has many effects. One thing it does, it improves healthy aging. One of the problems with aging is our circadian rhythm. Our body clock is off. Our body clock is controlled by a more primitive part of the brain back towards the neck called the hypothalamus. It interacts with parts of the brain, the anterior and posterior pituitary, that govern the release of hormones throughout the body. And with age, we lose connectivity there. And when you take melatonin, it resets that circadian rhythm, that body clock. This way, your body knows what time to go to sleep, what time to wake up, what time you normally go to the bathroom, what time you get hungry, but also your body temperature and your ability to control emotions like your temper. It's very good because, like I said, a disconnect between the brain and the body that occurs because of a drop in circadian rhythm, that's a nasty part of aging. So melatonin, besides its effects on sleep, helps with healthy aging. I'll tell you something interesting. They're studying melatonin for these trips into deep space. When the astronauts, when they go to Mars, they're going to be away for years. And 53 different scientists at 33 institutions are studying melatonin to prevent bone loss during spaceflight. And I'll explain some of the studies behind that in a minute. Now, we're going to a quick break.
This podcast is brought to you by InviteHealth.com. For over 20 years, Invite Health has provided premium quality supplements and expert advice you can trust. Now, first-time customers can enjoy an exclusive offer. Visit invitehealth.com/podcast or click the link in this episode description. That's invitehealth.com/podcast for your exclusive offer on Invite Health products. Invite Health offers the resources you need to make important decisions about your health. Chat live with degreed healthcare professionals, get product information, and find retail locations near you at invitehealth.com. You can also learn about our new genetic testing program and our exclusive Invite Fitness Wellness program. Follow Invite Health on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and be sure to subscribe to our podcast today. Now back to our episode.
Welcome back to the podcast. Because melatonin production drops in space in microgravity. And when you're in microgravity, you have bone loss. And melatonin inhibits a chemical in the body involved with bone loss called rankle. I'll explain that in a minute. And it inhibits something, osteoblastogenesis, the formation of new bones. So melatonin has also been connected to a lower risk of breast cancer, which is, something that needs a lot more research, but there's something to that. And that would be the same way that melatonin affects bone building. There's a chemical released by the immune system called rankle. And when a woman's young, rankle is involved with building breast tissue. It interacts with the hormone progesterone to build breast tissue. But when you're older, after menopause, releasing too much rankle causes mammographic breast density. Too much breast tissue. Breast tissue is supposed to decline after menopause. Having too much breast tissue is connected to a big increased risk of breast cancer. So when melatonin inhibits rankle, one of the things it potentially can do is protect breast tissue. But research from the Veterans Affairs Medical Center in Loma Linda, California, and the Musculoskeletal Disease Center in Loma Linda, published in the Journal of Bone Mineral Density, shows that melatonin absolutely affects rankle. Now, what does that mean for a woman? Besides protecting breast tissue to a degree, and they need more research on that, it builds bone. It builds bone. There was a very important study from Aarhus University Hospital over in Denmark. And they showed that giving older women melatonin really improved their bone health in their hips and in their spine. These women were between the age of 56 to 73. They gave them a placebo, which is a fake pill, for comparison's sake, or 1 milligram of melatonin or 3 milligram of melatonin every day for a year, right? At bedtime. And this was a gold standard state-of-the-art study, double-blinded, placebo-controlled, randomized human clinical trial, published in a peer-reviewed medical journal. So they tracked bone mineral density using that dual X-ray absorptometry. They also used high-resolution peripheral quantitative computed tomography. These are powerful ways of assessing bone health, the thickness of the bone, the health of the bone. And they also looked at hormones and bone markers in the urine and in the blood. It improved bone markers. For instance, the women were losing less collagen and calcium in their urine. But it really built bone. Compared to placebo and the femoral neck, and I'll explain what that is, that's where the hip usually breaks. That's where the thigh bone inserts itself into the hip joint. So it narrows there. That's where hip fractures usually take place, and hip fractures are expensive to treat. They're very painful. It takes a lot of time to treat them, and they're dangerous. So melatonin at 1 milligram increased bone mineral density in the hip by 0.5% within 1 year. But the 3 milligram, it increased bone mineral density by 2.3%. That's amazing. That could basically practically offset osteoporosis, severe bone loss. Now, what about the spine? Bone mineral density in the spine improved by 3.6% in the 3 milligram melatonin group. It really meant something. It really meant something. Now, we're going to a quick break.
This podcast is brought to you by InviteHealth.com. For over 20 years, Invite Health has provided premium quality supplements and expert advice you can trust. Now, first-time customers can enjoy an exclusive offer. Visit invitehealth.com/podcast or click the link in this episode description. That's invitehealth.com/podcast for your exclusive offer on Invite Health products. Invite Health offers the resources you need to make important decisions about your health. Chat live with degreed healthcare professionals, get product information, and find retail locations near you at invitehealth.com. You can also learn about our new genetic testing program and our exclusive Invite Fitness Wellness program. Follow Invite Health on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and be sure to subscribe to our podcast today. Now back to our episode.
Welcome back to the podcast. In a separate study, it's in the journal Aging. The journal Aging is published in Albany, New York. It's from Duquesne University School of Pharmacy in Pittsburgh and the Mayo Clinic, their Department of Orthopedic Surgery in Rochester, Minnesota. And it's a 1-year randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled human clinical trial. They gave older women with osteopenia vitamin D3, vitamin K2, strontium, that's a mineral, and melatonin, and it absolutely improved their bone mineral density. In the spine, it improved their bone mineral density by 4.3%, and in the hip, it increased it by 2.2%. There really is something to melatonin building bone. So besides improving sleep, and besides improving aging by resyncing your circadian rhythm, your body clock, melatonin builds bone. But it also corrects non-dippers. Now, let me explain what that is. At night, your body temperature and your blood pressure is supposed to drop. And that's important. Because in the morning, the body releases a surge of stress hormone, cortisol, to wake you up, which can increase your blood pressure. So if your blood pressure didn't drop and it's elevated, and then you release the cortisol, it could put you in a dangerous level of high blood pressure. And the most common time that a person has a heart attack is when they first wake up in the morning. That's the most frequent time that a person has a heart attack. So these are called non-dippers. It's in the American Journal of Hypertension. It's Harvard Medical School. And they found when they gave melatonin to non-dippers, it improved their nighttime blood pressure. It lowered the top figure by 6 points and the bottom figure by 4 points. That's really an important finding. And there's a number of studies showing this, by the way, that are published in double-blind, placebo-controlled human clinical trials. Melatonin also may help with ringing in the ears, what we call tinnitus. There's a couple of studies on this. Melatonin also, by the way, keeps hair in your head. Your hair growth goes through various stages, and the last stage is when growth ceases. It's a dormant stage. Without melatonin, there's no dormant stage of hair growth and your hair thins. Now I'm going to tell you about 2 other supplements. One of them is hemp. Hemp is the new name for CBD, cannabidiol. And CBD affects CB1 receptor sites in the brain that have to do with nervousness and anger and stress and anxiety and depression and memory and energy. And if you're really stressed out, taking some hemp, the source of CBD, can calm down the brain at night without any untoward effects. So I'm not against at all somebody mixing hemp with melatonin. I think it's a good way to go if you have trouble sleeping and you're also stressed out. This way the hemp takes care of the stress, the melatonin takes care of the sleep. And one last supplement, it's called Alcar with ALA. Alcar stands for acetyl L-carnitine. ALA stands for alpha-lipoic acid. These are involved with metabolism in the brain and brain energy. They're very good for protecting your memory. They're very good for protecting the brain in general. They're very good for improving brain energy and reducing the risk of losing memory with age. I use alcohol with ALA every day. I've been using it for years. Now, when alcohol with ALA helps with energy production in the brain in the daytime, it's repairing all parts of the brain, including the part of the brain that says, hey, it's nighttime, you have to go to sleep, and hey, it's morning, you have to wake up. Once again, that's called the hypothalamus. So it's not paradoxical. When you take alcohol with ALA in the daytime, it's good for your memory. It clicks your mood up a couple of levels. It's good for brain energy. And by the way, it's great for nerve pain. But because you're repairing the entire brain, at night, over time, you'll probably sleep deeper and better. I've had a number of my clients tell me that when you take the alcohol with ALA, you get this evolving sense of well-being and this brain energy and support for a good mood and memory, etc. But over time, after a month or so of use, you'll also notice that you're sleeping better. Now, one more thing about sleep. When you go to sleep at night, your glymphatic system activates. That's really important. It happens during delta wave sleep, non-REM sleep, the deep sleep cycles. That's the same part of sleep that you're consolidating memory. The things you learned today, your short-term memory, you're converting to long-term memory. But at the same time, you're detoxifying the brain. In other words, you're breaking down that day's accrual of plaque. That plaque is part and process of memory loss, brain shrinkage, and the Alzheimer's process. So sleep is important for detoxifying the brain. Thank you for tuning in to the Invite Health Podcast. You can find all of our episodes for free wherever you listen to podcasts or by visiting invitehealth.com/podcast. Please make sure you subscribe and please leave us a review. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Invite Health Today. We'll see you next time on another episode of the Invite Health Podcast, and thank you, sincerely, thank you for listening.